So there's something about you as a woman, you as a
Mhm.
person, and the light that you carry
Mhm.
that's there's just been a lot of assault on
Yeah.
it,
Yes.
right?
Yes. A
So
lot of
you
fault.
have obviously, here we are today. You found your voice. Tell us just a little bit about what reclaiming your voice looked like after all of these different iterations of blame.
Definitely been a journey and a process, right? Um, so many of us pay a really high price for using our voice, for
Hmm.
standing up and speaking to power.
Hmm.
But going into NFTC, I think I was 50 the year that I went into NFTC. And I gave myself the gift at 50 of I am going to confront people who have harmed me and who need to be held accountable. I'd had a counselor who I'd worked with for 3 years intensely. Um, he had a breakdown of some kind. He turned on me and started sharing his suicidal ideations with me, other clients' letters. Like it was a really bad situation, and I had to leave his care. Yeah, it was really crazy. And so that was so wounding to me because I was finally getting some really good care. And then just whatever happened, happened. And it took me 6 years to process through the forgiveness and the anger and the rage and the grief of that entire situation. And so I confronted him for my 50th birthday. And I sat him down with my counselor and my husband, and I told him the ways that he had harmed me and was able to offer him forgiveness because I had been able to work through it to that point. And it was so freeing for me because I didn't need him to apologize.
Right.
I didn't need anything from him. I needed to use my voice to say, you harmed me. And you
Mm.
are a man who knew God and was a Christian, and you hadn't, like, that's not acceptable. And you are going to be held accountable for that. It's taken me 6 years, but I forgive you. I forgive you. I don't need you to say I'm sorry. And so that kind of opened the door. And then the SBC came out with their report of the harm that had been happening in the Baptist churches. And we were, at the time, we were in a Baptist church. And when I looked up my perpetrator online, I discovered that he's the music minister for the largest church in his city and a professor and chair of several departments at the SBC college that is there in the city. So I was not at an SBC church when he abused me, but they said we want victims to reach out and to share their stories. They had a law firm that was set up to take our depositions and our information, and so I reached out to them and said, like, he wasn't in the SBC then, but he is now. Do you want to hear my story? And the reason I wanted to share my story was not because I thought I was going to be taken seriously or cared for, but I wanted to add my voice to the mix because this is a powerful, powerful man. He is still a very, very powerful man and has the life that people would say they would dream of having. And I know 100% he is still out there doing exactly what he did when he was 35. I have no doubt because he's not a man that was going to change his ways. And so I thought, what if one other woman comes forward to speak against him and her voice is the only voice that's there? I want to use my voice so that if someone else comes forward, she's got a backup. It won't
Hmm.
matter for me. I am not going to see justice this side of heaven in that situation. And do you know that they never even acknowledged receipt of my
Jeez.
report? They never even acknowledged it. And again, like, I'm not surprised, I'm not hurt by that. It's actually par for the course.
It's clarity.
Um, it's clarity.
Hmm.
And so when my husband read the report, we both read the report. It's like 300 pages long. We read it all.
Hmm.
He has spent a good majority of his career in law and with nonprofits and in the business sector. He said it is the most evil thing he has ever read in his entire life.
Wow.
Like there's nothing gray about it. And
Hmm.
so because we were in an SBC church at the time, a lot of them were trying to decide what to do.
Hmm.
And so they were asking us to up our engagement with the church. And so I went to them and I shared with them, with the leaders and the elders. I said, I'd like to share my story with you. And I'd like to ask you to consider leaving the SBC. We had been there 11 years serving. Small groups, coaching, small group leaders, mentoring. We were thrilled to do that. It was like so much a part of our heart of what we wanted to do. And so we finally sat down with them and met with them and shared my story. And they were so gracious and so empathetic, but they did not feel the conviction to leave the SBC. And our conviction was we would no longer be aligned with churches within the SBC. Mm-hmm. And so after 11 years, we found ourselves looking for a new church home unexpectedly. And that's a very different situation than the leadership at my church that shamed me. It's a complicated situation. For a lot of the churches see it as a complicated situation. So they did not abuse me in any way, shape, or form. I just was heartbroken to have us be on different pages about the right path forward and how to handle that situation. And so I have to tell you, like, again, that really hit me hard from a church perspective. And it took a year or more before I was able to walk back through the doors of a church. I would watch online and say, like, nope, 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 nope. But, again, God and his faithfulness has shown through in the midst of the very imperfect humanity of the church.
Yeah, and I think that this is a good point to talk about intent. In Dan Ellender's eloquent way, intentions are shit.
He's so eloquent. I love Dan.
Because on one hand, it's different because there was compassion and they believed you.
Right.
On the other hand, and I understand there is a lot of layers and there's a lot of complexity when you're talking about a whole church leaving a system, rather, and all the things, but it's actually not that much different at the end of the day. Even if the intentions are good, there is this leaving you. There is this way of not aligning with the disabuse, like with the part, so like the way of Jesus was always, this is what finally clarified my faith for me, was who did Jesus hang out with? Who did Jesus hang out with? He sure as hell didn't hang out with the SBC leaders. The Pharisees of the time were the ones that got the sharp end of Jesus's tongue.
As they should have.
And it's the people that were harmed, hurt, not taken up for, that got the gentleness, the Jesus that's gentle, that shows up, that communes with us, that protects and doesn't protect us from harm. I mean, that's part of the process, right?
That's part of the challenge for people.
Yeah. And also acknowledges the injustice.
Yes. And does not align with it.
That's the thing, And so I just want to say, that's a lot. I respect that the relationship there was really important to you. And I see the pain of having to leave after 11 years of finally having found some safety and ways to use your gifting that felt good to you and to your husband as well. There's so many points in the story. I mean, we could spend hours and hours and really decades unwrapping this, over and over and over again, because it's so important. Yeah. It's so complex, and it's so courageous of you to continue to come forward and not align with abusive powers. And to keep fighting for 17-year-old you, for 9 or 10-year-old you. I just bless you, bless you for
Thank
that.
you.
I
Thank you
really
so much,
respect you for
Patria.
that. And so, talk to the listeners. You've talked a lot about God, God
Hmm.
as he was represented to you in
Hmm.
very, very abusive ways, but
Hmm.
also this
Hmm.
thread of experiencing God in a way that you've been able to actually come back to over and over again as true, as
Yeah.
kind, as honest and supportive and loving.
Hmm.
So talk to the listeners about how have you come to disentangle God? Now, first of all, let me just say this. Some of this cannot be explained. There is a
Right.
mystery.
Yes,
We
thank
are
you.
not trying to create a
Uh-uh.
certainty here. Like there is a mystery
No.
to the profound connection with the Holy Spirit and with God in trauma.
Yes. Yes.
But talk to the listeners about how to disentangle God from the
Yes.
failures of church, of people
Yeah.
who represent God.
Yeah, let's talk about that because it's a really important topic and it's one that I'm passionate about because I've had to wrestle so much with my relationship with God, with being in spaces at 21 where, I mean, my thing was F off.
Mm-hmm. Of
Like
course.
literally, that's what I said to God.
Thank goodness.
I just
Yeah.
like no. Um, oh, I love the Lord so much, and my heart is for people who are hurting, who are wondering, where is God? Does he
Yeah.
see me? Does he love me? Why did he let this happen? And like you said, I'm so glad you did. Like there is a mystery. There is a mystery and an unknowing. Like we cannot explain away everything today.
Right.
We cannot answer all the questions.
Right.
So I will not give trite answers. I will not tell you, well, you just need to believe in God or
Yeah.
he's there even if you can't feel him. Like
Right.
that's not helpful. But I would ask you to ponder if you can find moments in your heart where you remember he was there.
Mm-hmm.
Can you go back to that place and that space? Because I know for me, the light shines in the darkness and the darkness cannot overcome it. And the light and the love that I have experienced through Christ and the Spirit, the triune God, is so drastically different
Mm-hmm.
than the harm and the abuse. And, the Bible's clear like, love is patient, it's kind, it does not keep a record of wrongs. The fruits of the Spirit love, joy, peace, patience, kindness, gentleness, self control. If the people who are representing God do not look like Jesus, do not talk like Jesus, it's okay for you to walk away.
Mm-hmm.
Um, Find a new space. It's hard, but what you're going to do hard, so do the hard that's going to
Mm-hmm.
lead you to a better place, to something that's more whole, that's more shalom. And I think that you got to get real with God. You got to get real with God. You got to have people around you that will let you be real. Like I remember, there was in my 30s, I was like in a marriage that wasn't working, and I was just like, I don't know what to do. And I was having all these flashbacks and things from the past, right? Because all my memories started coming back. Like they weren't going to stay hidden away. The truth kept coming and knocking on my door, and we get a choice as to whether we're going to let her in or not. But I just said to God, like I had no one in my life I could talk to. And I was reading all the books I could get on healing and Leanne Payne and that, John Eldridge and,
Mm-hmm.
all the things, just trying to find God. And I just spaced off with him. And I said, I got some really hard questions for you. And I'm going to start answering them. I'm going to start asking them. And you're going to have to answer them. Because if you cannot answer these questions, if you cannot help me make sense of what I have been through and what has happened to me and what it all means, then you are not God. Then you are not big enough to be called God. Like you've got to show up. And he did. And again, like we can't cover all the bases of everything. Like we go through periods of the wilderness, we go through periods of desolation, and in these different places, we need different guides, we need different resources. So, but it's important to be able to have an open, honest relationship with God and not to pretty yourself up before you show up. Like, I still do it sometimes, right? I still think I need to like get it together, but it's just insane because he catches our tears. How close do you have to be to someone to catch their tears?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I believe that he weeps on our behalf. I believe that he weeps and grieves along with us.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that sometimes it's easier to be angry at God than to hold people responsible that need to be held responsible. And so it's just easier to stay distant than to, it's worth it to do the work, to the struggle is worth it. Because the light that comes in when you feel and experience the Holy Spirit, it's different.
If I could sum it up in a sentence, it's you have to believe yourself.
Yes.
You have to believe your own experience of God over what you're told.
Yes.
About him, about yourself, about the authority over you.
Yes.
So what also do we have to believe about our own bodies then? Like if I'm going to believe myself, and sometimes memories are only stored in the body, right? Memory is a funny thing.
Yeah, when we've been through difficult things, sometimes we're not going to have a visual memory.
That's right.
It may be too much for us to cognitively remember, but we do have the memory within our body. And I have learned I can trust my body. And you can trust your body. I want you to hear that you can trust your body. It is a trustworthy body. It's a brilliant, wise, unbelievable container of all you need to know.
Yeah. And one of the things that I liked as a fellow trauma survivor, one of the things I would want to add for listeners is that our body intelligence, the body keeps the score, the body wisdom, when the body says no by Gabor Mate. These are not like as adults in adult relationships in complicated stories with other complicated stories. Our body wisdom is not telling us what's happening with somebody else. Our body wisdom is never going to tell us somebody else's story. That's just codependency. So sometimes I feel like that gets not extrapolated out very well. So I just want to make that really clear. Our body wisdom is telling us what we need, what we need. And that's the hard thing to really take ownership of is sometimes I need things that will separate me from things I want.
Yes, that's right.
And so believing myself might take me out of relationships that I really wish I had.
Yes.
Right.
Yes.
Or that
that's a hard truth.
It is a hard truth. Yeah.
Yes. But a life-giving. Life-giving. And coming back to being alive, coming back to like how we reclaim who we really are created to be. Yeah. Like that is a worthy journey to take.
Yes. It's not sexy.
It's not
pretty.
Sexy at all. At all. It's real messy and ugly.
Painful. Sometimes it takes us literally to financial poverty, sometimes to I know women who it's taken to homelessness. And have never regretted it. Like there is something so important about believing ourselves.
Yeah, that's just like it's like they had the courage to be homeless.
Yes.
Like that was courage.
That is courage.
And God bless them for that.
Yes.
To take that risk, to know that they can trust themselves. They can trust their bodies.
They are telling them the truth. That's right. Yeah. Beautiful. Well, Hannah, like I said, we could spend so much time talking more. And hopefully we will. I look forward to talking more in the future
That would
months.
be
Yes,
great.
we
Would
will,
love
and
that.
we'll continue to talk. But
Mhm.
anything you'd want to add to this conversation that's lingering in your own good body or heart or mind, that's just kind of come up?
I think what comes up is I would ask you to not give up on God, to wrestle with it, but to not give up. Don't give up, and find people that can help you in the midst of the journey and the struggle and the weariness that comes.
Beautiful. And I think one of the things about being connected globally, that's
Mm-hmm.
good, that
Mm-hmm.
I find is good, is that we actually do have access to resources that we have never had access to before. And
Yes.
you are not alone. If you're
Mm-hmm.
someone that just doesn't know what the next step
Mm-hmm.
is, you are not alone. Please reach out. You
Yeah.
can reach Hannah at thebrokenandbeautiful.com. You can reach me at thebrokenandbeautiful.com. We have
Yes.
21 coaches and counselors and spiritual directors, people that are deeply trauma informed, have done their own work. Where else? I know Sacred Story Space. How would they reach you through Sacred Story Space? Talk to listeners about that.
Yes. So the website should be up and running by the end of December, but you can email me at sacredstoryspace@gmail.com, or you can find me through the link at The Broken and the Beautiful, or LinkedIn and Instagram at Sacred Story Space.
So, to listeners, if today's conversation stirred grief or anger or perhaps memories, there might be something that's you're trying really hard right now to hold under the water, that you just haven't touched in a long time. I want you to know that you're not alone. That really, we are here for you. Your story matters. Your voice matters. All of the weight that you might feel bubbling up, or it just might feel like anger. It might feel like you might not have any of those particular things stirring. You might just have a sense of annoyance stirring. That's also very important to listen to. All of it matters. All of these things are data points. But here's what I want you to know is it's not enough to say these kinds of experiences are not your fault, but it has to be said that these kinds of experiences are not your fault. It's not enough to say that. And the silence of churches, the silence of other people, the complicity of actual other people in your harm does not diminish the reality and the truth of your experience, and it does matter. Spiritual harm cuts deep because it hits the places where we hoped for safety and meaning. I call it a soul wound. But harm is not the end of the story, doesn't have to be. There is a quieter, oftentimes harder to hear, but truer belonging waiting for you. One grounded in dignity, courage, and the voice that is returning to you. So please do hear us that God is not the harm that's done to you. God is not the silence that followed you. God is the one who moves toward you in truth, in tenderness, and in every new beginning. And that is not it's not simple. And it's not meant to be. So, Hannah, thank you so much for your honesty and authenticity. I mean, we covered a lot of ground today, and your vulnerability is shining a light so bright to me in this moment, and to so many others that will hear this. And I just leave you with that blessing and a prayer that more and more will turn and look and see.
Yeah. Such an honor to be with you. Thank you so much for inviting me on. Thank you.
What a gift.
What a gift.